G'day guys, Lemon Eating Cow here, and today I am back with another Final Fantasy XII The Zodiac Age guide, and this time I'm going to be talking about Quickenings, Concurrences, and I'm going to be giving you some tips on how to get the Mistwalker trophy. Each character can learn a total of 3 Quickenings, each corresponding to a different level, so you got level 1, 2, and 3, and these can be picked up on any license board. Now the important thing to consider here is that each character can only learn those 3 Quickenings, although on most boards there'll probably be 4 Quickenings. Now, once you've learned the 3 Quickenings, the extra one, or however many extra on your board, will actually disappear and lock off certain sections of the board in some cases. So the prime example of this is on the Shikari, and here I have Balthia as my Shikari, and as you can see there's 4 nodes on the board. But if I want to get access to the Yagyu Darkblade later on, I'm going to have to use that particular quickening down there. If I choose the combination of the other 3, as you see here, it's actually going to get rid of that last quickening because I've come to my 3 cap. And then you'll see the quickening node actually disappears and it'll cut off that skill for me for the rest of the game. Now this isn't all that important for the overall game. It will limit your gear choices if you choose the wrong node in some cases, but it is definitely not going to break your game at all, especially when you consider the invisible weapons and the very powerful options that everybody has open to them. You're not going to break a character if you choose the wrong quickening. So all in all, just choose what benefits you the most, and I really wouldn't stress your decisions all that much. So to use a quickening on a character that has the license board node unlocked, all you have to do is go open your battle menu, go down to Mist, select the level of quickening you want to use, and then select an enemy. Once you've done that, you'll go into the animation for the quickening, and you'll notice down in the bottom right hand corner you're going to get a timer, and you're also going to get 3 options with triangle, square, and X. Triangle, square, and X correspond to different characters in your party, and as long as they have quickenings unlocked, they're able to participate in a quickening chain, and ultimately you want to get the right combination of quickenings so you can do a concurrence, which is a powerful end move for the quickening chain. So the system works by having a countdown timer, and what you have to do is try and get an action in before that timer expires. So usually you're faced with, or you've given 3 options when you first start, but as you use more of those options, you're going to deplete the charges that your different characters have. So when they reach 0, obviously they can't do any more charges or quickenings, but there is an option sometimes that pop up that says mischarge. If you manage to hit the button on those mischarge, it will replenish that person's charges to 3, and it'll also shuffle the moves. Now shuffling can be done manually by pressing the R2 button, and sometimes when you have no options you'll be forced to press R2, or if you're going for a particular concurrence chain you'll have to shuffle the moves sometimes to find the right one. A concurrence occurs when you get a certain amount of quickening chains or a quickening chain combination, and depending on the different amounts of level 1, 2, and 3 quickenings you use, you'll get a different concurrence. Now concurrence is a finishing move, I guess, that does quite a bit of damage at the end of all your quickenings, and it can be a really big boon. Now these concurrences are tied to a trophy in the game, and you're actually going to have to get at least 1 cast of each of the concurrences. The basic ones are pretty easy to do, but the last one, the black hole, as well as the luminescence, can be a very big struggle to get. So I'm going to go over the different combinations of the concurrences, and then I'll give you a couple of tips on trying to get the black hole and ultimately the Mistwalker trophy. So the first concurrence is the Inferno, and this one just requires you to use 3 or more level 1 quickenings. The second concurrence is the Cataclysm, and that requires you to use 6 or more level 1 quickenings. The next concurrence is the Torrent, and this one will require you to use 2 level 1 quickenings and 2 level 2 quickenings. The next is Windburst, and this one will just require you to use 5 level 2 quickenings. Then we have Whiteout, and this one's going to require you to use 5 level 3 Quickenings. I actually found this one personally the hardest for me, but I know a lot of people struggle with Black Hole. The next one after that is the Ark Blast. Now this requires you to use 2 level 1 Quickenings, 2 level 2 Quickenings, and 2 level 3 Quickenings. The next one is Luminescence, and this requires you to use 3 level 1 Quickenings, 3 level 2 Quickenings, and 3 level 3 Quickenings. Then for the last one, we have the Black Hole. Now the Black Hole requires you to use 4 level 1 Quickenings, 4 level 2 Quickenings, and 4 level 3 Quickenings. Now for my tips on how to get the Mistwalker trophy, I'm afraid it can't be anything too exact or anything too scientific, but there's a few rules that you can follow which may make it easier for you. The big thing that you want to do if you're going for some of the last Quickenings like Luminescence or Black Hole, I usually try and start off by doing my level 3 Quickenings. I try and get them out of the way as soon as I can. So I open up with level 3 and then I try and chain, if I can, 2 level 3s off that. That makes sure that all my characters have spent all their mischarges, and then the rest of the time it's just about building up those mischarges again and then trying to get out at least one more of the level 3 Quickening and then fill out the rest of them. When you're going for the level 2 and level 1 Quickenings, you can try working on a certain character. Say Ash has her level 1, it just used the level 1 and she's got 3 charges. You know she has 2 more charges remaining, so you can keep on shuffling for her and just keep a look of her button that corresponds to her and look for the level 1 or the level 2 charges. Generally, you only want to choose a mischarge when you have 1 or 0 charges, otherwise it can be wasting some time. Make sure you keep track of how many charges you're using and what levels you're using, because if you go over the count you need for a certain move, you could actually accidentally push up into the next concurrence. Say if you're going for Luminescence and you actually do or accidentally do an extra 1 of each of the levels, it'll push you back over into Black Hole, and if you've already got it, it can be a frustrating experience to have to go back and do it again. So the biggest tip for this one is patience, really, because at the end of the day, this one is very, very much based on luck. You can start off with a fantastic start, and then you can try shuffle your moves as much as you can, and you will not get the particular quickening you need, or sometimes you won't get any button combinations at all to press. So I would doubt very much, unless you're incredibly lucky, that you're going to get this the first time, and it may take quite a while to do. For me, all up, to get all of them, it took me about 20 minutes or so, not all that long, but it was definitely a lot of luck on my side for this one. So I'm going to show you the technique I used, and it is not at all scientific. I cannot guarantee that it's going to work for you. All I did was play and pray, basically. So all I did was have my fingers hovering over the square, triangle, and X buttons, and also had my thumb on the R2 trigger. At the start of the battle, I would initiate a level 3, followed by 2 more level 3s if I could possibly get them, and then after that it was pretty much a spam fest. Like I said, not very scientific, but it did work for me. So all I would do is, if I saw a white name there, I didn't really check to see what it was. As long as something came up white, I was tapping those square, X, and triangle, and if everything was grey, I would tap the R2 button until I saw something come up. Now it's important to note with this method, well, not really a method, this button smash, if you're pressing the face buttons, the shuffle button won't work. So if you want to shuffle, you have to stop pressing the face buttons and press that R2 button. So yeah, it's very, very scrubby, but it did work for me and I was able to get the achievement. So yeah, maybe it'll work for you. Otherwise, the names and the buttons go by way, way, way too quick for me to pay attention to them. If you can do it, good on you, but me, myself, I could not. So this spam method worked for me, and I hope it works for you. And there it is. If this video helped you out, please leave a thumbs up. If you got any comments or suggestions, or you just want to call me a scumlord spamming piece of crap, then leave it in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed already, then please do so. This has been Lemon Eating Cow. Moo.